there. Welcome to Graced Health, the podcast for women who want simple and grace-filled ways to take care of themselves and enjoy a little chocolate in the process. I'm a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach who wants you to know your eating, movement, and body don't have to be perfect. They really don't. They really don't. You just need to be able to do what you're called to do. This is another Ask the Trainer episode where I answer questions you may have about your eating, movement, or body, or how they work together in about 5 minutes. Okay, we are closing out several episodes on different stretches that you can do. And these are all from questions I get from people in my life and wanting to know. And I certainly don't have the answers to everything. I don't know the answers, but sometimes I'm able to give them a little bit of guidance. This is one. So today's question is, body weight exercises hurt my wrists. What can I do? Now, I love body weight exercises. We do these a lot in mobility. You know, I'm a huge fan of mobility. If you want to know what that is, go back to Season 5, Episode 1, and listen to what mobility is. They're a great way of getting upper body strength without weight. So if you are working out from home still and you don't have anything, then you can do so much with your body. It's so created amazingly, which is terrible grammar, and I don't care because it's amazing how much we can do just with our own body weight. However, I understand that sometimes once we get down on our wrists and our hands and knees, and I've even given you a lot of stretches to do while we're on our hands and knees, that can kind of hurt our wrists. Now, one thing I will say is the newer you are to this, then your wrist, just like any other muscle in your body, not that you have like a ton of muscles in your wrists, but your wrist will get used to it. But in the meantime, they start to hurt. And I get that. And I've done workouts myself, and I've led workouts where our wrists kind of just start to bark at us a little bit and complain. So I want to give you a couple things that you can do to help alleviate that. The first thing is, assuming that you are seated on the floor or doing something on your hands and knees, just sit on your knees or sit on your rear, whatever's comfortable. Clasp your hands together and kind of like in the praying position with your fingers bent, not out, but clasp your hands together and just make a figure 8 with your hands. So go one way, all the way up and around. And then I always love to throw people for a loop, and I say, and now go in the opposite direction. And it's like a total brain teaser. By the way, I'm doing this. If you just heard a cracking, that was my wrist cracking. But that's a really great way to move your wrist. We've been talking a lot about moving in various directions. And when you are on your hands and knees, your wrists are doing the same thing. So moving them in different directions is helpful to getting the fluid back, to getting the mobility back and the range of motion. So that's the first thing that I recommend. The second thing is consider doing whatever you're doing on your elbows. Now, not all movements can be done this way, but a lot of them can. If you're doing T-stands, if you're doing planks, if you're doing even like in that bear position where your knees are just elevated like an inch or two above, you might be able to do this on your elbows. So ask the person who is leading your workout if you are able to, or head over to the podcast community, the Graced Health podcast community over on Facebook and ask me. But there's probably another way of doing something. So that's another option. Make sure your elbows are directly below your shoulders. It's really common to take them out a little too far. So make sure that your elbows are right below your shoulders. Another thing you can do is see if you can perform that movement in an elevated situation. So you'll take some of the weight off of your wrists if your hands are on a bench, on a stair, on a chair, all around and everywhere. Sorry, I'm going a little crazy here, you guys. Anyway, if you'll just elevate yourself a little bit, then you're taking some of your body weight off of your hands, and that will alleviate some of the pain. Another thing you can try and do is, if you're back onto your hands, create a suction cup with your hands rather than putting all of your weight on the back of your wrists. This is a very common way that we initially will support ourselves. But if we take our weight and kind of create that suction cup, and if you look at your palms, that outer rim of your hand, and try and get all of your weight on that area rather than just the backs of your palms, you'll be distributing that weight a little bit better. And again, take some of the weight right off of that wrist joint and pulling it forward a little bit. The last thing you can try doing is extending your arm out. And let's just say you're going to extend your right arm out, and then take your fingers, move them down toward the ground, and then pull it a little bit more with your left hand. So again, it's that opposite direction. If your wrists are tired and hurting from being in the position where you are supporting it, then let's do the opposite. And again, extend that arm out, take your hands down, and pull it in. I would love to know what you do to alleviate maybe some pain or discomfort in your wrists and when you're doing body weight workouts. So go over to the Graced Health community. It's a group on Facebook. I have the link below. I would love for you to join us there. Share it. This is a place not necessarily for me to share everything because I don't know everything. And I know you've got some good tricks up your sleeve. I know you've got good stuff because those of you I know in person, you're telling me, and it's good. So go over there and share it. Okay, that is all for today. Go out there and have a graced day.